Hello and welcome to next Goodgame Empire video. Today I will be talking about the event called Beyond the Horizon. I will be giving you a guide how to go with your alliance mates and take high positions in both the alliance leaderboard and the individual leaderboard to get a lot of resources and also possibly the relic bakeries and some of these additional build items for your equipment. So the thing to start with is actually preparation, and the preparation phase is going way beyond the time when the horizon starts. So just to show you the point of time when this starts, the Outer Realm event and Beyond the Horizon event, they both are 7 days long, so 1 week, and they both start on Thursdays 11 a.m. CEST. So this is the day you're going to join the event. So Thursday 11 a.m. CST is the time when you're going to join the event. So about 1 week before you're going to join the event, you should start preparing like a list of people who want to join you in the event and make the event with you. They don't actually have to be from the same alliance. You can try to get some people from alliances which are familiar to your alliance and stuff like that. Just one thing, that you need to make this list before you start participating in the event, like 1 week before, and you need to inform these players that they will have to spend money on the event. And to give you some rough estimate how much is it going to cost, is going to be between $80 and $100. Also same for euro, it's gonna be about 100 euro for the event. So you need to tell them that it's not going to be a free event. Of course, I'm talking to you like how to make high positions in this event, not like top 1000 alliance or something. No, we're going about talking about high individual and high alliance contests. So they're going to need to spend around $100 or euro. And you need to make a list of players who are going to join you in this event with this amount of money. And also you need to have at least one player who is going to spend a bit more and who is going to hold the capital of your alliance. This requires even a bit more money to spend, because this is the most important point of the event. Okay, so the very next step, when you're already collected and you have the list of players who are going to play with you, you need to create a separate alliance or use some alliance which is used for inactive accounts and stuff like that. You just need a separate alliance, and that is gonna be the reason why you're going this, because there might be some players who don't know that they can't take the capital, and the first player who joins the event takes the capital. So if someone takes your capital, then you're going to be not included in the event, because you're going to have someone else with the capital, and this might be a disaster for the event and for all the plans. They can get into nothing, and you're gonna have to wait for the next event. So it's very, very useful to create separate alliance, make it to 22 players capacity, and go for the event from that alliance. So when you collect the players in the separate alliance, you need to actually let them know that this event is going to take some money from them, and they have to pay to make good score and make the overall good score of the alliance. And also tell them that they need a lot of free time, and by a lot I mean like 5 or 6 hours, but they also need to be available on their phones all the time, because if they get some big attacks, they need to be called by you by phone or WhatsApp or whatever kind of messaging app you're using, or Viber or any other stuff. You need to present your plans, how are you going to play the event, and the plans are going to be what I tell you in this video. So when you watch it till the end, you're gonna know everything how to play in this event. So when you're the day zero, I would call this, so 1 day before, when you're going to make all this preparation and describe to people how the event looks like, what they will have to do, and when they will have to be available. Then if no one of the participants has any questions, you can proceed to entering the event. So you need to also remind everyone that the first player who joins takes the capital. So you should already have chosen who is going to take the capital and put a little bit more money to also build up the capital for proper defenses. You also need to have some players who are going to be checking the situation and looking at the game all the time during night. So if all your players are in the same time zone, then you have to choose some players who are going to stay awake during nights, and they will have to monitor the situation all the time during night. So you need some shift guards who are going to take a look and call the players who are getting attacked, or if you are mass attacked, you need to call everyone and they need to stay up to get up in the middle of night, for example, because this is how this event works. You need to be ready 24/7 to wake up and defend your capital, both as well as your castle, to not lose the points you're getting for your rewards. Okay, so now we're moving on to the day 1. So this is actually the day when your alliance joins the event. So super important, the first person who joins the event takes the capital, and you should tell all the players at what time he's going to join the event, or she, this person with capital. So the person with capital is joining the event first, and all the rest of the players need to join just after him at nearly the same time, but having in mind that she has to enter with capital as the first player, and later all the players need to join the event a few minutes after this, because this will be required to the strategy I'm going to present in a second. So when players join the event, you have 4 castles to choose from. You have a free castle, which gives you level 11 in the event when choosing this castle. You have 2 castles for 20,000 rubies, so you have a more resource production focused castle for 20,000 rubies, and you have more like military focused castle for 20,000 rubies. So and also you have and they give you level 13 when you join the event with them, and there's also a castle for 400,000 rubies with already level 70. It has the castle built up properly with many different stuff already upgraded at high levels. So this is the option when you're going all in and you want to take very high places, but this is not actually required, because if you are joining with the biggest castle and getting level 70, you're exposed to very big attacks, like 3.5 or 4,000 units in a attack. And when you're joining with small levels, you're going to get maximum 1,000 units per attack, so it's kind of easier to defend, but you also don't have access to better castellans. So it's pretty similar, but it's just cheaper to go on with lower levels, and that is what I personally would suggest. I did the top 20 or maybe 50 with level 21, so it's for me is the way to go, but it's your choice, depends how is your playstyle. So as I said, everyone has to join the event right after the player with capital, because you will have to move your castles around the capital. I will tell more about this strategy in just a second, but right now, as a reminder, when you're joining the event, everyone has to join right after the player with capital and move their castles around the capital. This is super important. More about this in a second. So actually right now we can proceed to the event, so you just press this button when you already chosen your castle. When you're choosing the castle, you need to confirm a few times, and you're getting to the event. So right now this is only one day until the event ends, but I'm going to explain you what do you do at the beginning of the event. So when you log in for the first time, you get all 3 special offers, and they look like, I'm gonna show you a screenshot. What do you get? So it works like you need to add some rubies, buy some rubies to your account in order to get all the rewards from this special offer. So you're going to get a offer for 6,500, for 50,000, and for 180,000. So usually when you're going for a top, you're going to buy all 3 offers. So you need to buy 180,000 rubies for account at least in the first day, and you need to wait for a prime time plus 200%. So I'm going to leave you a link to my Discord server, and in this link, and one link below this link, you're going to find a link which is going to take you to a 200% time schedule, so you can check in which day, at what time is going to happen a 200% prime time. I can also put this in the description as well, so you can use this and have a look. And it's also very good and important thing to go into your alliance right after you join, go to the chat and notice board, and go to the alliance notice board and put the thread with 200% timing like when is it going to happen. This is in Polish, yeah, but you know, to put in your language and let all the players know when is the time to load their accounts with rubies. So talking about the castle development, when you're loading rubies into the event, when you're buying rubies, you also need to pay attention to the special offer of this card. So you need to have level 13 to get this card. So if you have only level 11, you can load the cheapest rubies, make some quest to level 13, and then load the big pack of rubies. So in this place, you need to take food everywhere it is available. So you see food, you take food. That is like super needed. In other places, you can take tools, you can take fast travel feathers if they're available. And if you want to go for level 70, you can pick up some experience points. Not in this card, but when you start the event, they should be like on the right side and on the left side, and in the middle is going to be some food. So you need to pick in every place something and save the selection. And that's also a huge boost because when you buy rubies, you also get this reward and you get the food, which is super important in this event. So the game is designed like you're going to get some food, but it's going to last only 1 day, and the event is 7 days long. So you're probably not going to buy 7 special offers, but only 1 or maybe 2, because this is what I told you at the beginning. So in order to get lower food usage, you need to delete some troops. So you're going to get probably like 7,000 of horrors, like the ranged ones and the melee ones. So yeah, you get like 7,000 of this, of this, of this, and of this. So you should reduce your defenses to 4,000 of each, and you should delete all of your melee veteran demon horrors. So delete all of this, leave all of this in your castle, and delete up to having only 4,000 both of these defenders. And you do this because you need to have this food for at least 3-4 days to buy the second special offer in the half of the event. Also, to reduce the usage, you will have to upgrade bakery, but more about castle development in a second. So because you delete your offensive troops, you will have to recruit a better version. So actually a better option is to recruit spearmen, and to recruit them, it's very quick. And this is why you buy the castle with 20,000 rubies with better military, because you get, as you can see, barracks level 10 already. So this allows you to recruit as high as 110 units per one slot. So you make in total 550 with some support from the alliance. It's also, this help is also very important. And in just more than 2 hours, you're gonna get 550, and it's very cheap. So the main thing about them is that they consume less food, and they will have the same usage because you don't need this strength of troops. You just need 9,000 troops per day to send attacks, which are going to give you points, but more on this over the video. So this video is split into a few separate parts, topics. So if you want to learn more only about one special topic, you can like hover your mouse over the slider of this video, and you will see all the parts of this video separated. Okay, so to make this recruitment faster, you can also go to the research tower. You need to first build it in your castle, and you can make the first research and later the second. So the strength training on level 3, and it's going to make the recruitment even faster. Okay, so now let's explore the Beyond the Horizon map. So the first thing you're going to notice is a few kinds of castles. So the first one is going to be main castles, also outposts, which look a bit different than in the main kingdom. So more about outposts in a second. And capitals. So capitals are the like center of the player's influence points, but only the leader of the alliance gets a capital. So all your influence is going to be secured here after resets. More about resets later, but just for now you need to know what kind of castles, like buildings, are on this map. And there's also a city estate type of castle. It's a NPC place which you need to capture. Only 5 can be captured at the same time by your alliance, and you're going to get 100,000 influence points from this city estate after it's being occupied for 8 hours. You can make this time shorter, and you can also sell decorations inside it to get some coins for yourself. So we're still at day 1, but already in the event. So the first thing you can now see on the Beyond the Horizon map is that here is our capital, yes, and everyone had to move near this capital. Two reasons why is the first one, you will have to develop the capital very well in order to defend the whole week of the event, this capital. So you will have to send resources, and during first day and also maybe second day, all the players need to send resources constantly to the capital to allow the owner of the capital, so the leader of your alliance, to upgrade it and to upgrade buildings. In a second I'm going to show you what you need to upgrade, but every player has to send the resources as well as support, because this is going to be needed. The troops from your leader are going to consume food, so he can't keep like 100,000 by his own. All the players need to support the capital with their own defenses, so you can't also delete like all defenders. You need to split them, like part of them to defend the capital, not to lose your alliance influence points. Okay, so now a few words about how to develop your capital. Well, this is the task for the leader who got this capital, and when we go inside the capital, you will see a few important things. So the first thing, and why you need to send resources constantly, is to upgrade all the defenses. At start, it's going to be the wall level 1 and towers level 1, so you need to upgrade everything to level 5, and this is also the reason why the owner of the capital has to have level 70, and this is very much required. So there is a need for a moat, also a castle gate level 5, all the towers level 5, and castle wall level 5, as well as the keep level 5. It's also required to get the lower construction time. So the other things you need, the defenses are the obvious ones, and also a watchtower is very important to detect attacks later and to allow your alliance mates to send support faster and defend the capital. But also the owner of the capital will have to hold a lot of troops, defensive troops here, so there is a high need to build a bakery. When you go with the capital, as I said, you need to load a bit more money into the event, so you need to upgrade the bakery, watchtower. Stables are not going to be that useful, so it's not mandatory. Also food buildings, you get a lot of tokens, construction and upgrade tokens from the special offers for loading rubies into the event, so you need to upgrade them in order to get at least some food production and have lower minuses. And the most important part, you probably already see it, is the guard houses. So you need to have just spam the whole castle with them, because you don't want anyone checking your capital, how many defenders are there and if it is suitable for them to attack. So you just need to make it impossible to make a espionage of your capital. So just one last word about capitals. As I said, I'm going to say something about outposts. So as soon as you join, every player needs to upgrade their estates as high as possible, and you need to capture all the robber baron outposts near your capital. I'm gonna show you a quick example what happened when we didn't capture this outpost. So a player from Timeless Kings, which is one of the top United States server players and alliances, as you can see, he has 1.3 million might points, so he has a lot of units, and he captured this beautiful outpost. But this was such a disaster that we've got 100 horns and we've been constantly attacked during one night. We had to call everyone, hey, wake up, we need defenders, and you are under attack. We lost a bit of influence. Fortunately, we defended everything on our capital, but it was very, very bad. So to avoid such a situation, you need to capture all the outposts around your capital and defend them all the time. If you see anyone capturing this outpost, you need to kick off this capture and attack it. Okay, well, we know everything about the capital, which is the center of your event, and right now let's talk about your castle, so every player's castle. So starting with, you need to upgrade all the defenses as high as possible. So it depends if you go for low level or high level. So if you go with low level, you can't have so good defenses, but you still need to upgrade all the towers and the castle wall and gate and stuff like that. And you also need to have a watchtower, at least like level 3, 4, 5. It's super important to have it. If you go for level 17, you need to upgrade all defenses to level 5, including towers, gate, also a moat and castle wall. You also have to upgrade the keep to your like suitable for your level to have smaller construction times. But you should avoid completing quests when you want to have low level. So don't even click this quest, because if I would now click this guy, I would get higher level because I completed something like in the background, you know. Okay, so the one thing is defenses. The second thing is food production buildings. They always make your minuses a bit smaller, so you have to keep, like, you can keep a little bit more defenders in your castles, just units. So you need to build up and upgrade these token buildings for food, as well as the flour mill. Okay, so next up is the ruby buildings. You need to upgrade bakery as high as possible to reduce the food consumption in your castle, because this is the this is the biggest problem in the event actually. The food usage, food consumption. And the game obviously was designed like that to make you spend as much money as possible from your pocket to spend this money on food, so your units are not going to starve to death. So that's a very big problem. You need to upgrade bakery as high as possible, as well as the stables. So stables can be level 2, that's acceptable, but it's going to be better level 3. It depends if you're going to send all the attacks early in the morning, like at 12 a.m. I mean, it depends on the time zone, you know, but if you're going to send the attacks way a lot of time before reset, more about these attacks later, then you only need stables level 2. But if you don't have enough time, free time, like you have only 3-4 hours per day, you should upgrade them to level 3. Okay, so now let's talk about the main part of the event, how the game works here, so how everything works there. So as you probably noticed, you have the influence points and you have your capital. So it works like you collect influence points over the whole day, and later depending on your time zone, you need to just check this in your time zone, but for CEST, which is Central European Summer Time, it's 12:30 a.m. So this is the moment of reset, and the moment of reset is the moment when the player influence, so influence you can see there, you collected from attacks on other capitals as well as other players, is going to be collected and put to your capital. So it's going from you to your capital at the moment of the reset, and it's also saved to your individual contest. So your in performance, you can see that I have the contribution to Alliance influence, and this contribution is what tells you what position you're going to be in the rankings. So you need to have as high as possible contribution, and you need to take care of your current influence, because this can be stolen from you until it goes to the capital at the moment of reset. So this goes every day at the moment of reset. This goes to the contribution to Alliance influence, and this depending on this, you're going to get a position in individual contest depending on how high is the contribution to Alliance influence. So the obvious thing is that you need to collect as many points as possible. So the best way to collect it is, as I said, let's take the example of 12:30 a.m. Okay, but for different time zones it's going to be different time. But for the CEST time, it's 12:30 a.m. So at this moment, every player's influence is going to be transferred to the capital of his alliance, of her alliance. Yes. So the capitals are boosted, like they are getting a transfer of influence every time at 12:30 a.m. So the best way to collect influence for the next day is actually to attack capitals with the small attacks of 32 units on slowdown at the exact time of reset, which is 12:30 a.m. So this is the time when the influence of all players in the alliance which are going to attack are going to be transferred to their capital. So you need to their capital and take all the points. So this is a widely used strategy. Nearly everyone uses this to capture influence. So you also need to do this in order to get any points. Like trying to grab points from players is such a waste of money that it's just way worse idea. Yes, you can also try to collect points from attacking players. If you load huge loads of money, yes, that's also an option. But the basic option to get influence is to attack capitals at the moment of reset, when the influence of all the players of the this alliance is going to be transferred on their capital, and you're going to steal the points from the capital. So right now I'm going to tell you how to send these attacks, because you need to send them exactly at the second of the reset, not even minute, at the second of the reset. And I'm going to show you how to do this process. But before, you need to have targets. So you should prepare a list of targets you're going to attack in with these small attacks to get some influence. So how to make such a list? You will have to make this list twice. For the first day, when everything is changing, everyone is joining, but at the same time, during first day, it's pretty easy to collect the biggest amount of influence, because every inactive player is getting 25,000 points at the join of the event, and this is going to be transferred during first reset, is going to be transferred to their capitals, so you can collect these points nearly for free from their capitals with your attacks. So you need to make the list at the first day, and also and it's going to be a temporary list only for the first day, and you need to make the list again during second day, and you can use this list for the rest of the event, so for the rest 6 days. So how to do this? You go to your alliance, you need to pick the second tab, member list, and go for the alliance rankings. So here you have all the alliance sorted by the might points of all the players in this alliance, and you will have to pick the targets. The alliances are going to be targets, these ones who have plenty of members. I would say if they have like 6 or 7 players, it's kind of sure that someone got some points, and you're going to get part of this from their capital after the reset. And you need to search for alliances which are as high as possible, not counting the first 30, because they probably are defending, so let's skip the first 30, okay? And let's go from 31, and you're searching for all the alliances which have at least 7 members, I would say 6 to 7. I went for at least 6 this time event, and I got like 25 million in total during this event from the small attacks at the capitals. So you need to make a list of these alliances, and you're going to attack these alliances' capitals. Usually a leader of a alliance has their capital, but sometimes they try to mess you up and try to make it harder to find their capital. So sometimes the player with capital can be downgraded, promoted to a lower rank in the alliance. You need to have that in mind, and you just make a list of 300 alliances. For the first day, you don't even actually have to make a list. You just can go through the ranking and attack all the alliances which are suitable for the attack. So as I said, you try to get like 300 of these alliances, because this is the amount of attacks you can send with your VIP commanders, and this is how you're going to do this. You need the list, pay attention to the member amount. If there's like 1 or 2 players, it's probably not, it's going to be waste of the attack to send. So that's how you do the list. So before you start sending these attacks, you should put your commander as a support troops for some castle. For example, I stationed this 1 unit with my commander, because I don't want this commander to get stuck for several hours in a slowed down attack at someone's capital. This commander might be useful if we make a mass attack on someone, for example, or also in a situation where I would have to send support to someone very quickly, and a VIP commander doesn't have any travel speed bonus. So during first day, you're going to use your deadly horrors to send the attacks, but starting from the second day, you're going to use spearmen to send the attack, because they just consume smaller amount of food. And as I explained previously, you don't need to pay attention to the unit strength. You just need to pay attention to the amount of unit, and most importantly to the amount of food consumed per unit. So the spearmen are going to be the best, because they recruit very quickly and they consume very low amount of food, not like the horror units. Okay, so just one more thing before we start sending these small attacks. You need to have your computer clock very precisely set to the time from this website. So this website is called time.is, and you need to visit this website and check if your clock in your computer isn't behind or isn't too fast, because if it's going to be like more than 2-3 seconds offset from the original time from the network, you might have some problems, because your attacks might be going late. For example, I had a delay of 20 seconds and all my attacks were sent perfectly, but all of them were 20 seconds behind the reset time, so I got only a small amount of influence instead of very huge amounts I got later when my PC was perfectly set. So if you have some offset behind or forward, you need to just synchronize your PC time with the network time. Also, the last and least thing before starting sending the attacks is your alliance improvements. So there is plenty of the permanent improvements for your alliance, such as the support, travel speed, and market barrows. This is important all the time. This is useful during first and second day to travel the resources faster. Donation bonus is pretty useful, as well as attack travel speed. But the most important thing is the influence bonus for attacking capitals, plus 15%. So when you attack a enemy capital, you're collecting 15% of their influence when you win. And this bonus gives you another 15, so it doubles the amount of influence gained from the capital attacks. And this is mandatory for alliances who are going to go for a high rank, both for individual and alliance. But just remember that individual is like more important because you're getting way more special resources to produce your build items for combat, for meat and stuff like that. So in order to have enough funds, because this costs 100,000 rubies for 1 day, so you will have to spend in total 700,000 rubies for 7 bonuses to launch them every day. You will have to encourage your players to pay a fee to the alliance treasury. It's going to be, when you for example have 20 players, it's going to be 5,000 rubies every day in order to have 100,000 rubies per day to launch this bonus. It's also necessary to have players on TeamSpeak, for example, or on Discord voice chat to have good communication, because in a case of some trouble, of some problem, it's very important to have something more than a text messaging chat. Okay, so when you already have a list of 300 targets of the capitals with plenty of members but not too strong alliances, which you're going to get the most influence from, I will now teach you how to send the attacks for the exact second to get the most influence. Some players might tell me that I'm showing some things like some secrets or some patented stuff or things I shouldn't show, but well, nearly everyone knows about this, so I feel sorry for people who fall behind because of not knowing this, and I want just to for everyone to know this, so everyone is at the same level. Let's take 3 of these capitals as an example and just send the attacks to exact same second. I'm gonna show you in a second how to do this. I also have a video on this, how to make this same second attack. You can watch it on my channel. So we need to use commanders which we don't need, so you need to previously send the commanders, like the special commanders, to some support to station them somewhere. And it's also going to be very useful to make a preset. So the preset needs to have 32 units, 32 soldiers, so it's going to be only the minimal amount of soldiers per attack. Okay, so this is how we're going to send the attack. No need to change this setup. It can be 32 on one side, or it can be split for 3 sides. I used this kind of preset and it worked very well for me. So you just press the attack button, and the strategy to send the attack for the exact same second is to wait for this number here in the minute counter to change. And this is why you need to have your PC clock exactly set, because this bases on your PC. So when this changes, you will have to click the slow down button. We just need to wait for this to happen. After this, inputting the time for slowing down isn't necessarily needed to be fast, so you don't need to be fast when inputting, but you need to have a small delay as possible between this number changing and you clicking the slow down button. So you just need to focus on this number. It's pretty hard to lock for 1 minute 300 times per day. It's 5 hours in total, because you can send 2 in 1 minute. Sometimes you can if the second is different, but in most cases you can only send 1 per minute, and it's going to take you 5 hours, and this is why I said that you need a lot of free time for this event too. Okay, it changed, so we just put 00:30, and this is the time when all the attacks should arrive, not 29. This is very wrong, and also not later, because it's also not the time we want these attacks to arrive. Okay, so let's send this attack. Okay, done. And let's make also attacks on 2 other capitals. So I'm going to show you an example of how these attacks are sent Also remember to hide these attacks from your other alliance members, because if everyone is going to see like 300 arrows from every player, it's going to be madness, like total madness, because there's going to be thousands of arrows on your map and it's going to lag as hell. I experienced this a few times before and everyone has to mandatory, they just must hide their attacks, okay? This is mandatory, you need to also tell about this all the players before they even start any attacks. Okay, this changed, so we put 0030 and we send the attack. Let's try on the third one. Do the same, apply the preset attack. You need to accept that window, pick the horse and allow other members no. So this allows them to see the attack, only you are going to see the arrow. But if you send more like 100, more than 150, it's going to lag anyway. So it's the best to hide arrows and yeah, have a powerful PC, I would say, because on very old computers it can be even impossible to play this event on high level. Yeah, that's very unfortunate. It's also kind of problem because the game isn't developed super perfectly optimized, but that's stuff for another video. So let's focus on this number and wait for it to change to one more, so it's gonna be 21. Okay, right now input 0030, not later, not earlier, and send the attack. Okay, so you can go to the travel overview, and as you can see there is a clock, time remaining, and you can see the seconds ticking here. So these seconds tell you how many like seconds, minutes and hours are not that important, but seconds. So when you pay attention to the seconds and later you go to your own troops travel overview and you look at the arrival seconds of this attack, this needs to have to be as close as possible to these seconds here. Yes, so if there is like 37, 36, 35, 36, 35, so this is 1 second delayed. And the later attacks, I also sent some recording the Polish video, so they are also, I try to time them as good as possible. So as you can see here we have 1 second of delay, here we have 2 seconds of delay. It's not the best, a perfect scenario is to have 0 seconds delay comparing to this clock, so this is why your PC clock has to be perfectly set with the time of the game and whole network. And also you need to do this very quickly and to press this button as well as the number changes in order to get the most amount of influence, because just imagine half of players know how to do this and the second half doesn't know. So the first half is going to, everyone is going to make the attacks at the exact second of the reset, and they are going to get the biggest parts of influence of the enemy capitals, and the rest of players is going to get nearly nothing. So compared, a player sent 100 attacks, but they were not timed to a second, and he got 100,000 influence. I've sent 100 attacks perfectly timed to a second, like most of them were perfectly timed, and they gave me 3 million of influence. It's like insane difference, so you need to focus on sending them perfectly to just a second, as I showed you here. Okay, so this is the first part of the cake, and the second half of the cake is going to be the influence exchange. So you're going to get plenty of influence from these attacks. Yes, and when it gets to your gets transferred to your capital during reset, it's saved as your contribution to the influence, and you get your individual ranking based on how many influence you've gathered. But the influence collected on your capital, which you have to defend in order to make exchanges, can be used in some way, not wasted. So the thing with exchanges, how do they work? First, you need to ask some other alliance which is going to play on similar levels, so spend similar amount of money, get similar amount of influence from these small attacks, and in general is going to be a good candidate for your partnership. So I'm going to call this a partnership alliance, or in shortcut a partnered alliance. So what do you do? How do you make the exchange? So your players earn points on these small attacks, and their points get transferred over the 24 hours. Yes, so they get the points at the moment of reset, so 0030, which means 12 a.m. So at the hour 00:30, at the moment of the reset for my time zone, for your it might be different. At 00:30, players in your alliance get influence, and this influence is going to, they need to defend their castles from predators to capture their influence for 24 hours. And right before the reset on the next day 00:30, so let's call it 00:29, the points of the players are going to be transferred on the capital. So the points are now safe, they are a contribution, and you can use the points on your capital to make exchange. So your players work to get influence on your capital, and the partnered alliance players work their best to get points on the partnered alliance capital. So your capital has some influence, the partnered alliance has some influence, and the strategy here is to send exchanges. So this works like your players send attacks right before the reset to take all the points from the partnered alliance capital, and the partner alliance players send attacks on your alliance capitals to get all the points right before the reset. Why do you do this before the reset, not after? Because when you send the attacks and get your partner influence before the reset, you're going to have to defend your castle only for a few, like maybe 15, 20, 30 minutes maximally, to defend this influence gathered from the exchange. And well, you exchange, like you get all the points of the partner, and the partner gets all of your points. So you're not wasting these points, you're not losing any points. You just need to pay attention to not take too many points of the partner, and for them not to take too many if you have different amount of these points. So you need to calculate this, but you're going to jump into deeper calculations in just a second. So now when you know how to exchange, there's also a very important thing. Please do this wisely and do this fair. So they need, like, these exchanges need to be fair, because if some players got more points from the small attacks and bring to your alliance capital more points to exchange, and some players got nearly nothing because they didn't have time, didn't put money, cheated on you, there's plenty of reasons. So if some players got more points and some players got less points, you should, in my opinion, deliver the most points from the exchanges to the players who bring to your capital most points, which make you allowed your alliance to actually do the exchanges. So this is how it works. You might also consider giving some points for free for some players who, for example, strict to not paying money to the game, but you like them, you want to give them. But just keep in mind that doing this in a wrong way might destroy the alliance. This event is very destructive for alliance if someone has other opinion and you can't get to a conclusion how to exchange these points. You need to pay attention to this, please. Don't forget about that. So obviously when players get these points from exchange, right before the reset, they get the points, so they hold the points up to the reset, and after the reset, all the points gathered from the exchange go to the transfer to the capital of your alliance, and the same goes for the partner. Their players got points from your capital, and these points are going to be transferred for their capital, and this is going to be the contribution, which is permanent. You can't lose that points after the reset, and you're going to get higher individual ranking than you would get without making this exchange. It's going to be way higher. Okay, so now let's jump into a calculator. I'm leaving the link to this in the video description. Okay, so the calculator I'm leaving you link in the description was actually made to allow you to calculate the amount of points every exchange is going to take, because obviously the first player who's going to exchange points from the partnered capital is going to get the biggest part of the pie, and the second player is going to get a bit smaller amount and smaller, etc. So you need to develop this in a way that you like and everyone else accepts, and this calculator was made to allow you to calculate this quickly. So let's take our and our partner alliance as an example. This is the last day of the event, and we're going to make the last exchange tonight, right before the reset. So our alliance, Huzarzy Śmierci, have 142 million. Let's input this in enter how much influence your alliance has. 142 0 0 0 0 0 0. Okay, right? And the second alliance, so our partnered alliance, Agguato Revenge from the Italy server, has 176 million. So 176 0 0 0 0 0 0 to make it millions. And you also need to mark if the alliances have active bonus to influence. So yes, both of our alliances have this bonus, and you also can see that there are blue and red messages. So blue message means that your partner's alliance took more influence in your exchanges than it had and could give you for the exchange. He owes you for this, so he has debt for your alliance. And the red message means that your alliance has taken more influence from your partner's alliance through exchanges than it had and could give back. For this, your alliance owes a partner, so you will have a debt for them. So this also calculates the amount of debt for you. As you can see in the trade number 1, 2, and 3, and 4, I don't have any debt, and it shows you how many points the player of the alliance takes from the exchange, how many points your alliance already took from the exchange calculating or the previous trades, yes, and how many players the partner has taken away from your alliance, and how many points in total has your partner alliance taken away in all these trades shown before. So as we can see in the trade number 5, your alliance has already taken like a total of 146 million, but we only had 142, so you are in debt to your partner of total 4 million. And if the situation is different, you get the blue message, so we can like change it to 242 millions, and you can see that in this situation the partner owes you and has a debt. Yep. So it's changed and like it's shown and it's calculated for you to notice if you're going to have a debt. So for example, you can pay money for the debt for the second alliance, or request money if they have a debt for you. You can try to make some debt one day, but try to make the opposite situation on the other day, or you can have a debt and for example give it back on the next event. Okay, so you should repeat the process of exchanging every day in order to get even more points to the individual rankings. And the link for this calculator is in the description. You can also join my Discord server. The link is in the description, and you can have a like 200% prime time schedule in this server for easier access, and also in the video description. I hope that this video was helpful to you and will allow your alliance and your players to gather some influence finally and take some points. It was plenty of time before I made this video, but this is actually my first edition of the Beyond the Horizon where I'm taking part in. So I mean, I took part but without any money put into the event previously, so this is my first time, and I decided to make a video and learn you, because it was already like 2.5 years with this event into the game, so I think everyone who wanted to make top scores did them already, and now it's time for smaller players to get with smaller amounts of points to get higher rankings and also collect some scores for them. So this video is targeted to middle, because the biggest alliances already know how to play the event, so this is targeted to middle spending alliances. I hope you everyone have good luck in the event, and this was everything from me. So you can catch me on Discord, it's also put in the description of this video. Check out the description, just read everything which is here. It's going to be very useful, especially for this video with plenty of sources I talked about previously. And this was everything. So if you have any questions, write down in comments. I'm going to pin every comment and like show every comment, which includes also some other things which I maybe forgot to mention. If you like this video, if it was helpful for you, you can leave a like. It was really a lot of effort for me to record this video, so I would love you guys to give me like back some appreciation, small token of appreciation, such a quote from the reward for Goodgame moderators. So I also would like to receive some, and again, very good luck. I hope for you. If you didn't like the video, you can leave a dislike. Obviously, it's just a ratio to give me like feedback what was your opinion on the video. Also leave comments and catch me on Discord. So see you in the next video. Bye.